The story begins in Chonglu Ward, Jingyong County, during the 10th year of the Shingguan era. A hand with crimson-painted nails rested lightly on the doorframe of a brothel. Moments later, a young woman with a striking, voluptuous figure stepped out. "The night is deep, young master. No need to rush," she said with a sultry smile. "Please come in. I'll brew some tea for you. And prepare the bed." Hearing this, the young man's expression grew grim. Without a word, he followed her inside. Not long after, the woman lay sprawled on the bed, drenched in sweat and writhing in discomfort. "Young master," she gasped, "I feel so hot. Could you take a look at me?" Expressionless, the man stepped forward and slowly placed his hand on her neck. She moaned softly, her body trembling. "Please, young master, have mercy." But the moment those words left her mouth, his grip tightened around her throat. Her eyes widened in alarm as a strange light flickered in her pupils. From this angle, it became clear, the young man was using some kind of Taoist spell to restrain her, forcing demonic energy to leak from her body. He held a yellow talisman in one hand, and his eyes gleamed with radiant energy. "Reveal your true form, demon." Thus, the tale truly begins. My name is Shen Chongqing. I was raised under the red flag, brought up with a firm belief in scientific materialism. Somehow, I've been thrown into this savage, feudal world. This is the 10th year of the Jingguan era in what appears to be the Tang dynasty. And no, I didn't reincarnate as a prince, noble, or wealthy heir. I didn't even get a cheat-like system to guide me. How pitiful! I've scraped by through sheer will, finally managing to rent a dilapidated 6-room house, only to be cheated. Again. Storming into the building, Shen Chongqing tore up the contract in fury. Damn those deceitful, black-hearted real estate agents. Even in the Tang dynasty, they're all the same. No wonder the rent was so cheap. This rundown shack was now the starting point of his so-called legendary life. He walked over to a door covered in talismans and sighed. Well, the money's gone. What now? A gust of wind blew through, scattering the talismans. The house was filthy, cramped, and devoid of any cleaning services, yet they plastered these strange charms everywhere. In the courtyard stood a rusty sword embedded in the earth, placed within what looked like a Yang Bwa formation. Overhead, the ceiling was webbed with cobwebs, interlaced with more talismans. As Shen Chongqing approached the rusty weapon, he muttered to himself, "Seems no matter how civilized I was in the 21st century, I'm not nearly prepared to handle these ancient scam artists." He pulled a cigarette from his pocket, lit it, and took a slow drag. "Guess a smoke will calm the nerves." As he exhaled, the smoke lazily curled through the air, drifting toward a nearby withered tree. To his surprise, fresh green leaves suddenly sprouted from its bare branches. He looked around and caught a glimmer in the corner of his eye. Huh? What's that? Even junk is thrown around carelessly here. Intrigued, he reached for the blade. The moment his fingers touched it, the hilt snapped. He stared blankly at the broken handle. "Damn, it's broken," he muttered. "I was gonna use this to weed the garden or something." Suddenly, a voice echoed from within the house. "Young master, help me! Please, young master, I'm inside." Startled, Shen Chongqing tossed his cigarette aside. "What the hell?" he whispered. "Didn't the agent say this place was abandoned?" He marched toward the room, seething. "What kind of joke is this?" he shouted. "Who's in there?" As he stepped forward, his foot landed on a BWA formation etched into the floor. The mark glowed faintly with golden light. With a scowl, he pushed the door open. "This is my house now. Get out," he bellowed. But instead of an intruder, his eyes were greeted by an enormous pair of heaving breasts. A curvaceous woman with sultry eyes and a seductive posture sauntered out, her body swaying with every step. Shen Chongqing's jaw dropped, his cheeks flushing. "Dear God! I'm in love," he thought. Before he could react, the woman lunged toward him. With quick reflexes, he sidestepped, and she fell to the ground with a heavy thud. He didn't offer a hand to help. "Young lady," he said coolly, "you can't just touch me whenever you want." Unbothered, the woman clung to his belt. "I told you before," she purred. "You Tang Dynasty men never change. A girl's gotta use her hands to make a living." She pressed herself against his back and whispered close to his ear. "I've always made a living using my own two hands." He could feel the weight of her ample chest pressing into him, and his face twisted with panic. "Ah! Pervert demon mother!" he shrieked. He stumbled backward, clutching himself protectively. "Why you? Girl, don't talk like that. I know you're up to something, but I can't prove it." Just then, a ghostly aura began to rise from her body. Oblivious, Shen Chongqing continued to scold her. "Young lady, it's already late. If you have nothing better to do, please go home. Don't go wandering into abandoned houses like this," he muttered. "You might get trapped, and no one would come looking for you." Shen Chongqing stepped forward and peeled a talisman off a dusty old painting. He kept rambling on, completely unaware of the dark, sinister energy gathering around the woman standing silently behind him. "They say this place is haunted. Aren't you scared, little girl? What about you? Afraid of ghosts, young master?" she whispered, almost mockingly. "Ha! I'm the chosen one, the noble transmigrator, the bearer of the chaotic Tao body. Spirits and gods alike wouldn't dare approach me." Just then, the painting trembled. The eyes of the celestial general depicted on its surface suddenly sprang open. Behind him, the woman had fully transformed, her body now radiated demonic energy. Her nails had turned into sharp claws, reaching out for Shen Chongqing. Still oblivious, he kept talking. "You wouldn't understand anyway. I was just trying to scare you. All this ghost and demon nonsense is just superstition." From the outside, his entire house was now engulfed in a thick, eerie aura, pure demonic energy swirling within. Elsewhere, in a more solemn setting, a calm yet powerful figure appeared. In front of him stood a high-ranking official who spoke respectfully. "Taoist, you need not worry. I am the city god of Jingyong County, recognized as a martial judge in the underworld. I will aid you in subduing this evil presence. The 9 demons are beginning to merge," the official continued grimly. "Once they do, their power will be beyond comprehension. I can only seal them temporarily. I apologize for troubling you, master." The Taoist's eyes narrowed as he sensed something amiss. "No, my sealing formation has already been broken." Back at the haunted house, Shen Chongqing remained utterly unaware that a deadly strike was just inches from his back. His attention was completely captured by the glimmer of gold coins beneath a table. His eyes sparkled with excitement. "Treasure! I've struck gold!" The demon crept closer, her breath cold and damp on his neck. Just as she lunged, Shen Chongqing instinctively flipped the table, smashing it into the approaching demon. The force sent her crashing backward, but he paid her no mind, too busy collecting the coins with childlike glee. "A gift from heaven. With this, I can buy 2 extra meat buns tomorrow morning." But suddenly, the gold coins in his pocket began to shine with a blinding glow. His eyes widened. "What the? Sorcery? Where's my money?" Before he could recover from the shock, the coins flew out of his pocket and began to spin in midair, transforming into a holographic interface. Overjoyed, Shen Chongqing's heart leapt. A system, the sacred tool of every transmigrator, has finally appeared. Out of nowhere, he pulled a rose and struck a dramatic pose, clenching it between his teeth. "Now let's see what divine functions you hold," he announced boldly. As he spoke, a control panel materialized in his hand. A bright message blinked on the screen. Your remaining time, 71 hours, 59 minutes, 59 seconds. Please recharge immediately. First recharge bonus. Up to 6,500 hours. Her rewards, between 6 taels of gold and 648 taels. Failure to recharge will result in the system deleting the host. His face darkened with rage. What kind of ridiculous system is this? Are you kidding me? Taking advantage of his moment of frustration, the demon behind him whispered sweetly, "It's getting late. Why not let this humble one serve you, young master? Let me help you relax." Without hesitation, she received a thunderous slap to the face. Despite the stinging blow, the thick-skinned demon moaned seductively, pretending to enjoy it. Shin Chongqing looked down and noticed her tightly clinging to his arm. His expression shifted from anger to pure confusion. "Huh? Why are you still here?" he asked, blinking. The demon's body collapsed against his. Her flushed cheeks and trembling voice betrayed something deeper. "It's strange. Just touching you feels different," she whispered faintly. Blushing furiously, Shin Chongqing stammered, "Mississippi. I think it's better if we meet again some other time." Just then, the Taoist and the city god burst through the front door. "Demon!" they shouted in unison. Shin Chongqing stood frozen, jaw hanging open in shock. The demon, however, appeared completely intoxicated by his presence, clinging tightly to him as though entranced. For 6 full seconds, the Taoist and the god stared in stunned silence. Then, snapping out of it, they both pointed sharply. "That's the demon!" the Taoist barked. "Magistrate Wu, don't be deceived by its appearance. It's a trick to drain his vital essence." "Demon!" the city god roared. "Let him go!" Shen Chongqing broke into a cold sweat. "She came on to me, I didn't do anything." But something about the situation felt disturbingly familiar. A creeping thought took hold in his mind. Wait. What if the Taoist and the city god are actually the villains, and she's the victim? And I'm just the poor bystander caught in the middle? Suddenly alarmed, he shoved the woman away. "Fine. I'll let her go, all right? No need to scream." Trying to calm his nerves, he lit a cigarette, inhaling deeply. "I thought she was just some poor lost girl. Maybe one who strayed down the wrong path. Never expected she'd be some celestial in disguise trying to rob me blind," he muttered bitterly. "As if I have anything left. That damn system already swallowed all my money." The Taoist and the city god exchanged glances, concern written across their faces. Even the triple yang formation couldn't suppress this demon, the city god murmured. Yet he dispelled half her aura with a single shove. "A mere mortal," the Taoist echoed, awe creeping into his tone. But the city god's pride flared. "To treat me like this? The city god of Jingyong County? The audacity!" He stepped forward, voice booming. "You ignorant mortal! Do you even realize who you're insulting?" Without hesitation, Shin Chongqing kicked both men out the door. "I don't care if you're the Jade Emperor himself. Walking around in those ridiculous outfits, causing chaos, what do you want from me? Look around. What's even in this crumbling shack worth stealing?" Grabbing the woman by the collar, he tossed her out too. "Out. All of you out. I'm not in the mood." He slammed the door shut with a thunderous bang, leaving the bewildered trio stunned outside. The two men and the woman exchanged uncertain glances. "Taoist priest," the city god said slowly, "I can't access my divine power anymore." "Me neither," the priest replied grimly. "I lost it the moment we entered that courtyard. Could it be? That man's a celestial being in disguise." The city god looked down at the woman, noticing the surge in her demonic aura. "Taoist, what do we do about this demon?" The priest didn't hesitate, he turned and ran. "This demon is too strong. I must go seek help from my master at the market." "Wait, don't leave me here alone," the city god cried out. But he was already gone. The city god turned back, only to see the woman's body shift grotesquely, transforming into a hideous old hag, so revolting even other demons might flinch. A bone-chilling scream tore from his throat. Outside Shin Chongqing's courtyard, a group of ghostly figures gathered. Their spectral forms twisted and restless, eyes gleaming with hunger. "Such a divine aroma! I must consume him!" Just the scent alone boosts my power. He's mine. Down below, from the swirling mist in the courtyard, a pale white foot stepped forward, followed by a luxurious, furred tail. Before Shin Chongqing's gate stood a stunning young woman, her figure a flawless masterpiece of seduction. Her every curve radiated charm. "How curious," she murmured. "This unremarkable little mortal emits such a compelling aura. No wonder the demons and monsters within 100 miles have come to worship him." Her gaze turned sultry, tongue playfully teasing her lips as she looked toward the house. If a common demon devoured him, they'd ascend on the spot. But if I were to absorb his essence, becoming an immortal might not be a dream at all. With a smile, she stepped forward and gently pushed at the door. The creaking sound that followed was like a needle through Shin Chongqing's skull. He groaned, clutching his head in agony. That persistent noise echoed in his ears like thunder. Grinding his teeth in frustration, Shin Chongqing finally stormed out of the house, furious. "Who the hell's out here? Making all this racket? Have you no shame? Don't you know what time it is? I'm warning you, I'm this close to losing it. Can't a man get some sleep?" A brilliant golden light burst from his body, blasting the fox demon and the swarm of ghostly beings backward. In the fading brilliance, an ethereal ear-like mark glowed faintly, revealing the fox demon's true form. She stared in disbelief. Later, at the Zasher residence in Jingyong County, the fox demon lay unconscious in the small courtyard. Eventually, she stirred, eyes fluttering open. She scrambled to her feet, glancing around in a daze. "Is it morning already? I can't believe I was out that long." Her mind swirled with confusion, but the moment was cut short. Around her, the shadows coalesced. Dozens of vengeful spirits and monstrous demons materialized, eyes locked on the vulnerable fox. She spun around, heart hammering in her chest. The figures merged into the form of a powerful female demon, her eyes glowing with cold fury, and a dark aura of death swirling around her. In her hand formed a pulsing sphere of demonic energy. The fox demon trembled. "And no. Demon! Demon, help me!" Her voice cracked. Her legs gave way. She collapsed in fear. My power. It's gone." She blinked back tears. "Damn that golden light. It was terrifying." The fox demon looked up again, horror widening her eyes as the towering demon advanced toward her. It was surrounded by a swirling vortex of grotesque faces, each twisted in agony, formed from pure malice. Is this the end? Just as despair began to take over, the door behind her creaked open. "What a beautiful morning," Shin Chongqing mumbled, rubbing his eyes. He glanced up at the still dark sky and yawned. "Well, maybe a little too early. The sun's not even up yet." The fox demon bolted toward him, desperate, trembling, her eyes pleading for help. But Shin Chongqing, completely unaware of the nightmare unfolding behind her, calmly closed the door again with a soft click. The sound made her freeze on the spot, every hair on her body standing on end. Behind her, the demon's malevolent aura thickened, pressing down like a mountain. The demon leaned in close, lips curled in a cruel smile. Its voice was a chilling whisper against the fox demon's ear. "Lost little one." Her throat clenched shut in terror. Sweat streamed down her brow as she stood paralyzed, unable to scream. A second demon, its mouth stretched wide in a grotesque grin, loomed over her. "A tasty morsel," it hissed. The fox demon shrieked in terror, her voice cracking. "I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead, I'm dead." She repeated it over and over, nearly 10 times in rapid panic. Just when the nightmare was about to consume her whole, the door swung open once more. Shin Chongqing stepped out, a calm look on his face, a basket slung casually over his shoulder. Radiant golden light flared from his body, instantly dispersing the demonic energy and sending the monsters scattering. He glanced to one side and muttered, "Gotta head out early today. Damn system's driving me crazy, demanding money and threatening my life. What rotten luck." Still grumbling, he accidentally stepped on something furry and soft. Ouch! The fox demon cried out. Ow ow ow! You're the dog. Your whole family are dogs. Get off! Startled, Shin Chongqing crouched down and scratched his head. Huh? Sorry about that. Whose dog demon are you, anyway? And what are you doing at my doorstep? Then a mischievous gleam sparked in his eyes. Here, let me have a feel. The little fox demon wanted to curse him. You pervert! Don't touch me, you idiotic human! But stuck in her animal form, she could only glare helplessly. As Shin Chongqing's hand landed on her head, a surge of pure, potent spiritual energy coursed into her body. Her eyes went wide in shock. What is this? Such powerful spiritual energy. From just a touch. Overwhelmed, the fox demon lay down and let out a blissful sigh. She closed her eyes and melted into his touch. So comfortable. After a while, Shin Chongqing blinked at his hand, puzzled. He looked down, only to realize he was no longer petting a fox. It had already rolled away slightly, yet still twitched contentedly. Haha, my golden touch really lives up to its name. Turning toward the well, he waved a hand. Little doggy, listen. I'm broke. I can't even afford a proper roof. This blasted system keeps hounding me for money. You're better off finding someone richer to take care of you. The fox demon promptly fainted. Moments later, she shot back up and dashed after him. What is with this guy? Last night, one shout from him vaporized over 100 ghosts and forced me, a dignified fox immortal of Qingshao, to revert to my original form, stripping away all my power. And just now, even 9 vengeful spirits combined didn't dare show their faces near him. One accidental touch from him broke my century-long cultivation bottleneck. As Shin Chongqing rinsed his mouth, he casually spat out a mouthful of water, right onto the fox demon. She stiffened. But a second later, something shifted within her. Her eyes widened again, this time in awe. Wait. This is spiritual spring water? Thank you, heavens, for such a gift. Shin Chongqing, now brushing his teeth, looked at her. You like me that much, huh? The fox demon wagged her tail, smiling involuntarily, even as confusion swirled inside her. Just then, a demon with gaping jaws materialized beside Shin Chongqing, lunging in for the kill. The fox demon's heart nearly stopped. At that exact moment, the system interface appeared in Shin Chongqing's view. Time remaining: 62 hours, 36 minutes, 44 seconds. The countdown ticked. Then, the system's roulette wheel spun, numbers changing. Updated time: 48 hours, 36 minutes, 44 seconds. A golden coin shot forth from the system, streaking through the air. It struck the demon cleanly, knocking it back. The coin then pierced through the demon's body, causing it to dissolve into mist and vanish completely. The fox demon's jaw dropped, eyes nearly popping from her skull as the coin continued hurtling toward her at blinding speed. Shin Chongqing suddenly felt an invisible force slam him to the ground. His face twisted into a grimace as he stared up at the sky. What the hell? It's like every ounce of strength just drained from my body. A system notification blinked in his vision. Remaining lifespan: 48 hours. Not a trace of vitality remained within him. Then, without warning, the timer plummeted again. Remaining lifespan: 14 hours, 36 minutes, 44 seconds. The fox demon, noticing something was wrong, immediately rushed over and grabbed Shin Chongqing's robe, dragging him away from the well. Those 9 vengeful spirits. They've merged into one, she thought in panic. The moment of yin-yang convergence is when its energy peaks. And it actually dared ambush an immortal master? We have to get out of here, now. As she dragged him along, Shin Chongqing felt his soul slipping from his body. His vision blurred, and to his horror, a horn suddenly sprouted from his forehead. Startled, he cried out, "Puppy! Don't misunderstand." The fox demon, startled by the odd statement, immediately let go of him. He scrambled to his feet and waved his hands frantically. I just skipped breakfast, that's all. Low blood sugar. Got dizzy. That's all. Not some weird reaction, okay? The little fox demon blinked, stunned. He really is a hidden master. Attacked by a merged vengeful spirit and still unharmed. He must have faked unconsciousness to test my loyalty. Luckily, I was smart enough to see through his clever ruse. At that moment, the system interface reappeared before Shen Chongqing. Remaining lifespan, 14 hours, 30 minutes, 11 seconds. He stared at it, mouth agape. I sleep for 8 hours max. How the hell did I go from 72 hours to just 14? This damn system doesn't even want me to live. From the side, the fox demon watched Shen Chongqing seemingly arguing with thin air. She couldn't understand what he was saying, but a gentle smile spread across her face. Although I don't understand the immortal master's words, there must be deep truths hidden in them. I simply lack the cultivation to comprehend them. I must cling tightly to his leg. Ha! Elsewhere, a Taoist priest knelt before an aged man flying through the air atop a sword, seeking counsel. The man, his long white beard flowing in the wind, murmured to himself. That mysterious expert weakened the 9 vengeful spirits last night at the Zir residence. We must act while they are still recovering. He was Yuan Tiangang, director of the Tang Dynasty's Bureau of Astronomy. The priest sent his voice through a spiritual transmission. By your command, Master. I will summon the judge of the underworld and the city god of Jingyong County to join forces in purging these fiends. Under the moonlight, Yuan Tiangang studied a worn Bagua diagram in his hand, faint spiritual energy swirling gently around it. He sighed. That expert broke the three-yang formation with ease. Could he still be in Jingyong County? If fate allows it, I must meet him. I must discuss the Tao with him. Curious, he began to divine Shen Chongqing's identity by counting on his fingers. But after several moments, his eyes widened in disbelief. I can't see through him at all. Could his cultivation be even greater than mine? Gathering his qi, Yuan Tiangang flew swiftly toward the South Market. There, in the bustling street, he spotted a man seated at a makeshift fortune-telling stall. Shen Chongqing was in the middle of a reading. My good sir, he said, frowning as he peered at his client. Your philtrum is dark. Great misfortune is heading your way. The man paled and began sweating. Aren't you supposed to read palms? Why are you talking about that? Dark spot between my eyebrows. Shen Chongqing smiled calmly. The methods of divination are vast. The paths may differ, but all roads lead to truth. Why cling to rigid formality? Yuan Tiangang's brows furrowed. In broad daylight, this man dares to scam others? But before he could speak, Shen Chongqing stood and produced a scroll that shimmered with a soft light. He offered it to the man. What should I do? The man asked, voice trembling. No need to worry, Shen Chongqing reassured him. Simply hang this immortal's protection scroll in your home, and you'll be safe from harm. Not 99.99, not 888, just 10 taels of silver, and it's yours. The man looked torn, sweat pouring down his brow. Just then, an elderly woman shuffled out from the crowd. Oh my, it's Taoist Master Shen, she exclaimed. You saved my mistress from demonic possession. Shen Chongqing gave her a sly smile. One step closer to heaven. I'll have to give this old lady a bonus later. She's playing her part perfectly. The woman turned to address the gathering crowd. Would I lie to you all here in the open market? That spirit nearly took my mistress's life. But in the end, it was Taoist Master Shen who drove it away. The crowd buzzed, convinced by the sincerity in her voice. The man, no longer hesitant, pulled out a handful of silver and pressed it into Shen Chongqing's hands. Yes, Taoist Master Shen. I'll take that scroll. Shen Chongqing accepted the silver with a glint of triumph in his eye. Yuan Tiangang, having witnessed the entire farce, finally stepped forward and bellowed, Hold it right there! To which sect do you belong, young immortal? Do you possess the official credentials issued by the imperial court? What Taoist temple are you affiliated with? Shin Chongqing narrowed his eyes and pretended to adjust a pair of non-existent glasses. Is this old geezer looking for trouble? Before he could reply, Yuan Tiangang jabbed a stern finger at him. Insolent brat! Instead of studying the Tao properly, you stoop to deception. I won't let this pass. Shin Chongqing slammed his palm on the table and shot to his feet, equally furious. And who exactly are you, old man? The two locked horns, their voices rising in a storm of accusations. I advise you to watch your tongue, Shin snapped. You clearly don't understand even the basics of fortune-telling, yet you dare accuse me? And who says my scrolls are useless? Everyone has their methods. Yuan Tiangang scoffed. Methods? What you're selling is nonsense. If your scrolls really ward off evil, prove it. Otherwise, I'll accuse you of slander and fraud. Shin Chongqing sneered at his outrage. Ha, the old man wants proof. Hanging scrolls to ward off evil is a placebo, huh? Then what do you plan to do about it? Face flushed with fury, Yuan Tiangang spun and pointed at the old woman who had spoken earlier. That woman's clearly in cahoots with you. Shin threw up his hands, mockingly. Oh really? You want proof, Yuan Tiangang? My ass. I'm Emperor Tang himself. He scoffed. If you're the real Yuan Tiangang, then maybe you should head back to the palace and stop bothering us commoners. The Taoist priest who accompanied Yuan Tiangang was enraged. You dare address the saints so flippantly? With a thunderous clap of his hands, a golden light burst between his palms. Insolent whelp! Shin Chongqing scoffed. Be careful, old man. Keep acting like this and you'll lose all your teeth. What is this guy planning now? Shin thought, narrowing his eyes. Suddenly, Yuan Tiangang radiated a powerful aura and sent a blast of spiritual energy toward Shin Chongqing. Heretical fiend, he roared. Taste the might of righteous cultivation. But then, nothing happened. Shin blinked and looked around. Yuan Tiangang was frozen mid-gesture, completely still like a statue. Seizing the moment, Shin Chongqing casually doodled a mustache on the back of Yuan Tiangang's hand with a piece of charcoal. The elder's eyes twitched, confused by the abrupt disappearance of his power. Shin, brimming with boldness, pointed at him and shouted, Aha! So that's it. You're just afraid of competition. You were trying to stir up trouble to discredit me. From the watching crowd came voices of support. That's right. Master Shin, deal with this fraud. Expose him. Yuan Tiangang stared at his hand in disbelief. I've cultivated for decades. How is this happening? Shin Chongqing rose to his full height, puffing out his chest with exaggerated confidence and placing his hands on his hip. Listen up, everyone. Don't let this con man fool you. If you want real protection, true peace, and prosperity in your homes, come to Master Shin. Overcome with fury, Yuan Tiangang lunged forward and overturned Shin's table, splintering it in front of the entire market. Even if my powers are sealed, I won't let you continue your scam, you little punk. Careful, old man! Shin shouted, dodging backward. Just then, a beam of golden spiritual light fell upon Yuan Tiangang's face. A surge of potent energy erupted from the overturned table, where a calligraphy scroll now released a brilliant pillar of divine light into the sky. Yuan Tiangang froze, stunned. He stared at the scroll, eyes wide with awe. This character. It contains such terrifying Taoist power. Shin Chongqing, startled himself, muttered under his breath, If I'm going down, I'm taking you with me. Before he could speak further, Yuan Tiangang suddenly dropped to his knees and kowtowed before Shin Chongqing. Everyone gasped. Within earshot, he cried out, These characters. They hold the great Tao. I was blind to insult such a master. Please, forgive me, senior. Shin blinked, stunned. Is this guy insane? Wasn't he calling me a fraud 2 minutes ago? The old woman from earlier quickly chimed in, taking advantage of the situation. This Taoist may have doubted Master Shen at first, but now even he has submitted to his divine power. Boss, this is your chance to go big. Shen snapped open his fan and tapped himself on the forehead, pretending to compose himself. Yes, yes. Money matters, right? He then adopted a serene, benevolent expression and nodded piously. It's all right, it's all right. I, this humble immortal, will not hold it against you. After all, you're a fellow cultivator. Surely. You understand the principle of karma. Yuan Tiangang bowed his head, sweat dripping down his brow as he thought to himself, no wonder I mistook him for a mere mortal. This is the sign of someone who has returned to their original nature after attaining true immortality. Destiny is decreed by heaven, interfering with it is to defy the will of the cosmos. But accepting a few taels of silver in exchange for helping others overcome their troubles. That's an act of benevolence. It's cultivating good karma. Bathed in the golden glow from the calligraphy scroll, the onlookers below watched in stunned silence, whispering to one another in awe. Truly, the heavens are fair. Karma is inescapable. All these years of cultivation, and I still failed to understand this truth. What a waste. Meanwhile, Shen Chongqing rolled his eyes, a grimace forming on his face. Enough of the philosophical crap. Where's the money? Almost as if he'd read his thoughts, Yuan Tiangang produced a gleaming black gem and presented it with trembling hands. To bring such a priceless treasure to a place like this is an insult to your revered self. I humbly request a calligraphy scroll written by your divine hand. I will enshrine it in my home and meditate upon its wisdom daily. This stone is all I possess that might be worthy of your stature, honored predecessor. Shen Chongqing snatched the gem from his hand and turned it over with mild curiosity. What does this thing even do? That is a Batian stone, Yuan Tiangang stammered. It is the most precious treasure I own. Shen Chongqing abruptly slammed the stone down onto the table, startling Yuan Tiangang so badly that he broke into a cold sweat. I don't need rocks. Got anything useful? Yuan Tiangang paused, glanced at the heavens for inspiration, then rummaged through his sleeves. Moments later, he returned with a radiant golden calligraphy scroll. Stripping off his robe in dramatic reverence, he bellowed, "Thank you, honored predecessor, for your boundless wisdom. I shall study this scroll's meaning with all my heart." With that, Yuan Tiangang departed. The man who had been waiting to have his fortune told looked confused. Taoist Master Shen, you sold him a scroll. What about me? Don't worry, Shen Chongqing replied smoothly. I foresaw his arrival and made preparations. He unfurled another scroll with a dramatic flourish. A golden light poured from it, illuminating the man's face. This talisman wards off evil and misfortune. It's perfect for someone like you. Perfect. The man grabbed it joyfully, almost skipping with glee. Suddenly, Shen's plain calligraphy case took on a mystical aura. From something common, it now appeared like a vault of divine relics. Scene shift. The Z residence in Shen Chongqing's rented courtyard. Wu Fan stood with a broom in hand, his expression grim. How is that beast accumulating demonic energy so fast? He growled. It's even stronger than before. Beside him, a young Taoist priest, eyes locked on his broken Bagua compass, responded through clenched teeth, Warden Wu, don't be rash. My master has arrived in Jingyong County. I'll send a message to request his aid. Just as he finished speaking, a violent wind whipped through the courtyard. The Taoist priest's eyes widened in alarm. Before he could react, a surge of malevolent energy burst through the doorway, slamming into him and shattering the compass in his hands. In the nick of time, Wu Fan intercepted the demonic blast with a powerful strike, grasping the dark energy with all his might. Fellow Taoist now, he roared. The young priest quickly formed a hand seal. Golden lightning crackled at his fingertip. Behind him, the Bagua formation released a flying sword, which launched into the swirling purple energy. The collision exploded with a deafening roar that shook the entire house. A furious voice bellowed from outside. "What the hell was that? Which bastard just blew up my house?" Wu Fan and the Taoist priest exchanged stunned glances. The demonic aura was fading. At that moment, Shen Chongqing burst into the scene, his jaw clenched. "What in the world is going on?" The golden flying sword, along with the last remnants of demonic energy, harmlessly plunged into the ground at the sight of him. Shen stood among the rubble of his home, his expression darkening. "I was only gone for a short while. And you bastards already turned my house into ruins?" His gaze swept to the shattered doorframe, and his face twisted in horror. "Heavens! I just rented this courtyard!" Rage boiled over. Shen pointed at Wu Fan and the priest, practically spitting fire. "You too? You think you're smart, huh? You failed to scam me out of money last night, so now you trash my home while I'm out?" Lost in his furious tirade, he didn't notice the remnants of demonic energy leaking from the golden sword behind him. Wu Fan and the Taoist priest spotted it at once. They shouted in unison, "Behind you, look out!" The leftover energy twisted into a grotesque demonic form, radiating a chilling aura. Their eyes widened in horror. "A demon! Under your feet!" Shen glanced down. "What demon?" Just beneath his raised foot, a twisted demonic face emerged, mouth agape as if to swallow his leg whole. Without realizing it, Shen looked up at the sky in frustration, and brought his foot down, smashing the demon beneath his heel in a puff of black smoke. Completely unaware of what he'd just done, Shen Chongqing stood frozen, drenched in cold sweat. Behind him, the wrathful spirit of the demon began chasing him around the shattered courtyard. "What the hell was that sound just now?" someone asked. The two men who had witnessed everything were utterly stunned. He just annihilated the 9 demons that have haunted Jingyong County for 15 years. With one step. Hey, don't go around slandering the master like that." The young Taoist priest stepped forward, eyes gleaming with admiration. "This humble Taoist is Li Chunfeng, disciple of the divine astrologer Yuan Tiangang. May I ask your esteemed name, senior?" "Li Chunfeng? Yuan Tiangang's disciple? So, you're from the Bureau of Astronomy?" Shen Chongqing asked, raising an eyebrow. I'm still in training. My cultivation isn't yet sufficient to enter the Bureau," Li Chunfeng replied humbly. Shen turned to Wu Fan, scrutinizing him. "You look familiar. Are you one of those city god deities? I've seen statues of your kind in temples." Wu Fan stepped forward and gave a respectful bow. "Indeed, I am Wu Fan, the city god of Jingyong. I must apologize for any earlier offense. I'm truly grateful for your assistance, Taoist." Shen Chongqing lit a cigarette, taking a deep drag. As smoke curled from his lips, he looked up at the sky. "The Tang dynasty really is filled with simple folk," he muttered. Tears welled up in his eyes as the smoke drifted upward, forming the character for sorrow. 3 con artists in a single day. Why is my luck so awful? Throwing his arms wide in despair, he cried, "I'm a loyal follower of Marxist-Leninist doctrine. I believe in earning wealth through labor, not relying on the supernatural. So let's be clear, are we settling this according to public law or private law?" Confusion flashed across Wu Fan and Li Chunfeng's faces. "Public law? Private law?" they echoed, completely lost. Shen Chongqing blinked. "Are you two messing with me right now?" He jabbed a finger at them. "Private law means you compensate me. And trust me, it's going to cost you. As for public law," he raised both hands dramatically, "I hand you over to the authorities." Wu Fan looked defeated. "I'm a city god. I live off incense offerings. Where would I get that kind of money?" Li Chunfeng spoke up in a respectful tone. "Surely, someone of your level, with such profound cultivation, wouldn't be so concerned with such trivial, earthly matters." Seeing their hesitation, Shin's patience snapped. He flung his cigarette to the ground. What, cat got your tongues? Still no answer. Fine. If that's how it is, we're going straight to the magistrate. Before he could take a step, Li Chunfeng hurriedly tossed a small pouch of coins into Shin's hands. Wu Fan, empty-handed, gave a long, theatrical sigh. I haven't seen any demons today. But I have met 3 broke ghosts. Li Chunfeng leaned closer and whispered, Master, this is all I have. Perhaps I can stay and help repair the courtyard. Shin Chongqing stared at the meager pile of copper and silver coins. After a long pause, he exhaled. Fine. He turned and led the 2 men toward the gate. As for the red bricks and clay, you're on your own. Don't just stand there. Get moving. An hour later, the courtyard stood fully restored. Back inside his house, Shin Chongqing sat cross-legged, tallying the day's profits. The pawn shop won't take that black stone. Useless as anything but a paperweight. The old man's clothes? Maybe worth 2 taels. After giving Ani her cut, I made a grand total of 20 taels today. As he finished counting, a sudden flash of light lit up his face. The system interface appeared, absorbing all his earnings in one go. Hey! Hey! Leave me some, he shouted in panic. Before he could stop it, the system's display jumped from 956 to 356. Realization hit him. He had finally met the threshold for the first top-up bonus, and was now eligible to claim 2 rewards. The draw began. Thousands of glittering rewards flashed across the system interface. Wow! What a sight! Is the system finally giving me a power-up? Come on, give me an SSR. Just 1 SSR. After a string of chimes, the system rewarded him with 2 manuals. Shin's excitement faded instantly. His eyes twitched, pupils constricting as he stared in disbelief. Bloodshot, he slammed the manuals onto the table. Mother, fertilizer production methods and distilled liquor crafting techniques? He shouted, veins popping. System, are you joking? I'm starving, and this is what you give me? Dark circles formed under his eyes. His whole body trembled as he muttered, as expected. Ordinary people can't win in pay-to-win games. A moment later, Shin Chongqing wandered to the door and clapped Li Chunfeng on the shoulder. Why are you still here? Don't tell me you're planning to mooch a meal off me. He gently nudged the young priest toward the gate. It's late. Just patch that hole in the wall before you go. And then head home. Got it? Shin Chongqing muttered, waving them off. Just then, the little fox demon trotted through the gate, a cloth bag clutched in its mouth. Li Chunfeng's eyes widened in surprise. Great fox immortal, he gasped. Shin Chongqing sat down and took the bag of food. You again? Bringing me offerings won't change anything. I can barely feed myself, let alone you. Li Chunfeng, blinking at the sight, mumbled, Master, that's not a dog. It's a fox. Hearing him mutter, Shin Chongqing turned his head. Li Chunfeng, were you just talking to me? At that moment, the little fox stood upright on her hind legs, bared her fangs and hissed, How dare you speak such nonsense? You're dead meat. Shin Chongqing blinked, then calmly reached out and stroked her paw. This little one really is spiritual. Fine, since you're so persistent, I'll reluctantly allow you to stay. He gave a half-smile. From now on, I'll call you Xiao Bai. The fox demon yipped twice, tail wagging happily, seemingly in agreement. Night fell over the Juran residence. High above, in the clouds, a water dragon trailed a majestic white dragon through the mist. Elder sister, wait for me, the younger one cried. Father's condition is worsening, we must find someone to heal him. Mid-flight, the white dragon suddenly stopped. Xiao Qing, she said, look, what's that golden light? A brilliant flash shimmered below. Both dragons instantly transformed into graceful young women. I can feel an immense and majestic force emanating from that golden light, the elder murmured. It must be an immortal descending. or a divine treasure revealing itself? Come, she said. Let's investigate. Meanwhile, inside his room, Shen Chongqing stared at the countdown timer on his system interface. 32 hours, 45 minutes, 21 seconds remaining. His entire body trembled with dread. Not only was his survival time ticking away, but his stomach had been growling non-stop. Unable to bear it, he slammed his head against the bedpost 30 times. "I'm so hungry," he groaned. "The system took all my money. I might not even survive the day." Trying to comfort himself, he gnawed weakly on the wooden post, tears gathering at the corners of his eyes. "Oh, system. At this rate, you won't even get the chance to kill me. I'll starve to death first." Suddenly, a golden light radiated from his door, but it carried a dark undertone, an eerie fusion of divine brilliance and demonic presence. The little fox demon, sensing the disturbance, glanced up. "What's that sound?" "That aura. It feels sacred, yet unfamiliar. Almost like a Taoist's." Leaping onto the roof, the little fox gazed up at the moon, her mind drifting toward an intimate fantasy. "The power inside me is stirring," she thought, her cheeks flushing. I want to be with him." Bathed in moonlight, she began absorbing ambient demonic energy, her spiritual force swelling. Below her, the 9 malicious spirits that had once haunted Jingyong fused into a single terrifying entity. Slowly, it fixed its gaze on Shen Chongqing's door. The fox demon, after absorbing enough energy, shifted into her human form. Standing elegantly on the rooftop, she stared coldly down at the courtyard. "These demons were already repelled by the master once," she murmured. "And now they dare return? Even merged, they still overestimate themselves." The fused demon oozed a dreadful, malevolent aura. Thick saliva dripped from its grotesque mouth. It was ravenous, desperate to devour something. Li Chunfeng, watching from the ground, turned pale and trembled. High above, the fox demon unleashed her power. A terrifying image of a feral fox spirit appeared behind her, its aura suffocating. In response, the demon below condensed into a massive, monstrous form, and launched itself upward with a roar. Li Chunfeng staggered backward, drenched in sweat. His legs nearly gave out as the two supernatural forces clashed. Above, the fox demon and the monstrous spirit collided, shockwaves rippling through the sky. Inside the house, Shen Chongqing remained fast asleep, completely oblivious, limbs flailed awkwardly across the bed. From afar, the two dragon sisters watched, astonished by the fierce clash. "Elder sister," Xiao Qin gasped, "what terrifying demonic energy! How can such a remote place like Jingyong County harbor so many powerful beings?" The elder dragon narrowed her eyes. "No wonder. That man's spiritual aura is like a beacon in the darkness. These demons and spirits can't resist being drawn to him." Down below, the fierce battle raged with overwhelming force. In truth, at the heart of the struggle was not merely a clash of power, but a furious tug-of-war between two female fox demons, their fight fueled by jealousy. Over one utterly clueless human. Just then, Bai Long and her sister Xiao Qing descended from the heavens, their feet barely touching the ground as they landed. Their voices rang like thunder. "What manner of demons dares to cause chaos in the mortal realm?" The two fox demons turned at the sound of the dragon's arrival, momentarily startled, but their claws remained locked in each other's fur as they continued their quarrel without pause. Bai Long stepped forward, her expression cold and authoritative. "Demons are still demons," she declared. "Yet to maintain your composure in front of a true dragon, and even dare continue fighting, suggests you're no ordinary spirits." The merged evil spirit's eyes widened, then narrowed into slits. It let out a shrill laugh. "What drivel are you spouting, you overgrown worms? I suspect you're here for the man in that house, just like the rest of us. So why pretend you're any more righteous?" Its grin stretched wickedly. "Tell me, how about a partnership? Help me get rid of this fox, and we'll split the spoils, one man, two demons. Seems fair. Xiao Bai's expression darkened immediately. Her eyes turned ice-cold. She raised a claw and pointed at the spirit. How dare you call me a mere fox demon? Without another word, Xiao Bai lunged. Her fists became a blur, raining down upon the spirit's face at blinding speed. I am a fox immortal of Qingshao, she roared between blows. Each strike landed with the intensity of someone trying to launch an ex-boyfriend into orbit. Finally, with one crushing punch that lit up the sky, she screamed, "You dare lust after my master? I'll kill you!" The dragon sisters watched in stunned silence. Qing Long sniffled, tears and snot running freely down her face. As sister, does that fox demon practice body cultivation? She's terrifying. When Xiao Bai finally withdrew her fist, she stood wreathed in dark, flickering aura. Her eyes still burned with killing intent. Of the evil spirit, nothing remained but a small puddle of black, sludge-like residue. The leftover remnant hissed and glared at the dragon sisters. Xiao Bai sneered. Well? Do you want to fight too? I am a fox immortal of Qingshao. Bai Long reacted immediately, forming rapid hand seals. Righteous law of mystical lightning. Vanquish evil. Heavenly lightning, descend. A furious bolt of lightning ripped through the sky, heading straight for the courtyard below. But just before it could land, a shimmering golden barrier erupted around the residence, completely absorbing the strike and reflecting the energy upward. Caught by the rebound, the little thunder god who had conjured the spell was hurled backward, blood gushing from his ears, nose, and eyes. Bai Long blinked, staring at the heavens in disbelief. What happened to my spell? Where's the divine lightning? Seizing the opportunity, Xiao Bai lunged again, her claws gleaming with rage. You dare attack within the mortal master's home? You have no respect for heaven or earth. With a shriek, she struck Bai Long squarely in the chest, sending her flying hundreds of meters through the air. As Bai Long tumbled through the sky, her eyes suddenly caught sight of a radiant sword embedded in the earth. A hidden expert, she gasped. Could this be the one we've been searching for? Then, Father might yet be saved. But Xiao Bai gave no time to think. She crashed down upon Bai Long like a meteor, resuming their battle with renewed fury. Elsewhere, Li Chunfeng, hiding in a haystack with tears streaming down his cheeks, peeked out and whispered, So this is what a battle between immortals looks like. In midair, the fox demon unleashed a dazzling display of techniques. The threefold true fire, the dangling jade seal, and the mighty fire virtue Star-Lord assault not to be outdone, Bai Long countered with fierce retaliation. The 8 steps of total strength, which dispersed the demonic miasma, and the western paradise counteroffensive, their figures blurred in high-speed motion, flickering through the sky like shooting stars. Bai Long landed atop a rooftop and launched her next barrage. Majestic heavenly dragon. World-honored earth store. Ancient weak-tail strike. After another powerful exchange, Bai Long staggered to a stop, panting, glaring down at the small fox demon. Infuriated, Xiao Bai snarled and lashed out with a savage kick, only for Bai Long to leap away, the blow obliterating a large tree behind her instead. Seeing her retreat, Xiao Bai gave chase. In her relentless pursuit, she stepped, by accident, on something soft, squishy, and very much alive. Meanwhile, inside the Zhuran residence, Shen Chongqing finally stirred from his slumber. Groggy and grumpy, he growled, "Damn it! Who's making all that racket every night?" Still half asleep, he clutched his pounding head and yelled out, "If you don't want to sleep, that's your problem. But let the rest of us sleep." Fuming, he stormed out and flung open the door, blinking blearily at the chaotic scene outside. He froze. Bai Long stood in the courtyard, tying up the little fox demon with a glowing, ethereal rope, like she was disciplining a disobedient pet. Shen Chongqing stared in confusion. Then, without a word, he turned around, shut the door with a slam, and walked straight back inside, leaving Bai Long utterly speechless. Back inside, Shin Chongqing slapped his forehead and exhaled a sweet, strangely fragrant breath. "Good heavens," he muttered. "It must have been so loud I started hallucinating." Determined to figure out what was really going on, he reopened the door, and was immediately greeted by a bizarre reversal of the previous scene. The little fox demon had somehow turned the tables. Sweat beaded on Shin Chongqing's forehead as he stared, wide-eyed. What in the world? Bai Long was now the one pinned down, her face pale with humiliation, while the fox demon loomed over her victoriously. Before he could make sense of it, Shen Chongqing bellowed, "Shirao? Xiaoyi, you useless mutt! Strangers break into the house and you don't even bark? What's the point of keeping you?" When Xiaoyi didn't respond, Shin Chongqing stepped outside and looked around, grumbling, "Now where's that dog wandered off to?" Fuming, practically steaming at the ears, he stormed toward the battling women and roared, "Stop! What are you two doing fighting in my courtyard in the middle of the night? And where's my dog?" Bai Long, still locked in combat, turned her head slightly and hissed, "Mortal, stay out of this! I'm saving your life!" But Shin Chongqing wasn't having it. He grabbed Bai Long's arm. "Saving me? Nonsense! You probably stole my dog. Come with me to the magistrate." The moment his hand made contact with her, a strange wave of energy surged through the air. Both women froze, their bodies trembling uncontrollably. A powerful force was being absorbed. Then, suddenly, Bai Long's chest expanded noticeably, swelling with spiritual power. "What kind of celestial art is this?" she thought, confused and flushed. "Just a touch. And my power is surging out of control. I can't contain it." She gasped, then glared at Shin Chongqing. "You foolish mortal! I am a princess of the Eastern Sea Dragon clan. Do you have any idea how close you were to death just now? That fox demon nearly killed you. If I hadn't intervened," before she could finish, Shin Chongqing shoved the fox demon aside, turned back to Bai Long and snapped, "Stealing my dog and playing the hero? I don't even have a dog." Still gripping her tightly, he barked, "Cut the crap. Dragon princess, or whatever, you're clearly a fox demon. Show me your true form." With a grunt of exertion, Shin Chongqing hoisted Bai Long into the air with one hand. "I've had enough of this nonsense. I am the inheritor of socialism, a devout follower of materialism, the one who will end the age of the old gods. I am a law-abiding citizen, a member of modern civilized society, a pioneer of street sanitation, the runner-up in the National Children's Latin Dance Competition, and the nightmare of Little Sun Kindergarten." Bai Long flushed bright red. He truly isn't ordinary, she thought. Just a single touch, and my energy flows uncontrollably. My cultivation. It's accelerating. And this sensation. It's... Suddenly, a furious voice cried out, "You scoundrel! Release my sister!" It was Qinglong. Bai Long immediately shouted back, "No, Qing'er, don't." But Qinglong ignored her and lunged forward. Shin Chongqing reached out with his large hand and intercepted her effortlessly. Still trying to resist? Meanwhile, Xiaoyi, sitting on the side and watching the chaos unfold, blinked and exclaimed, "Wow! Master's playing with a dragon. Hee, Master is incredible." Li Chunfeng, still hiding in a haystack, was dumbfounded. I, Li Chunfeng, have cultivated for so many years. And only now have my eyes been opened. Even legendary cultivators pale in comparison. After spinning the two dragon sisters around like tops, Shin Chongqing dropped them in a trembling heap in the corner. He began scolding them like unruly children. "Breaking into a private residence, disturbing someone's sleep, stealing my dog. Don't think I'll let you off just because you're girls." He jabbed a finger at them. "You're young. You should be doing something productive with your time. Now tell me, where did you hide my dog?" Just then, Li Chunfeng came charging forward like a gust of wind, clutching Xiaoyi like a precious treasure. "Immortal Master! Your dog is here. You short stack, where'd you come from? Shin Chongqing snapped, pointing furiously. Do you know you nearly scared me to death? What are you doing here? Didn't I tell you to go home after fixing the door? Upon hearing this, Li Chuanfeng's panda-like eyes widened. He opened his blood-stained mouth and declared reverently, "The immortal Tao is vast and profound. This humble one." He dropped to his knees and solemnly held up Xiaoyi like an offering. "This humble one desires to become your disciple." Tears streamed down his face as he added pitifully, "Please, master, impart your wondrous techniques to me." Meanwhile, in the early morning light over Jingyong County, a jet-black bird soared high through the sky, wings slicing the air like blade. It was the Black Eagle King, one of the 4 great demon kings. After a long flight, the eagle landed atop a lighthouse, eyes locked on a glowing radiance far in the distance. Its sharp pupils contracted. "What's happening over there? What's that golden light? Why does it make me feel so uneasy?" The Black Eagle King narrowed his gaze. "The great king of Black Mountain sent me to scout the way." "This is the territory of the 9 ghosts," muttered the Black Eagle King, gazing down at the faint golden glow radiating from below. "And yet, there's golden light shining through. Could it be a treasure revealing itself?" At that thought, greed surged within him, demonic energy swirling wildly. "Ha ha! If I bring this treasure back to Black Mountain, the great king will surely appoint me leader of the 4 demon kings. This time, I'll make those other 3 kneel before me." Half an hour later, back inside Shin Chongqing's humble home, he sat in a daze. In front of him knelt the 2 dragon princesses and the overly respectful Taoist, Li Chunfeng. "Immortal Master, that's exactly how it happened," said Li earnestly. Just then, the little fox demon Xiaoyi leaped up and licked Shin Chongqing's face, catching him off guard and making him flail wildly in surprise. "Taoist Li, enough of this nonsense. I'm just a regular person, I don't know any magical techniques, nor do I have any to teach. There are no ghosts or demons in my tiny courtyard. Please, all of you, just go home." Shin Chongqing sighed and turned his gaze toward Bai Long and Qing Long. "And you too. Now you're saying your father is gravely ill, and you were simply passing through in search of medicine, only to get caught up with a fox demon?" He squinted suspiciously. "What a well-rehearsed story. I'll let the dog theft misunderstanding go. But curing your father? That's beyond me. I suggest you seek out an actual physician." With that, he slung his basket onto his back, his brow furrowed in irritation. "Well, it's almost morning. I've no breakfast to offer, and I have to earn a living. Make yourselves at home if you must." He walked out. Qing Long burst into tears. "Sister, have we angered the immortal master? Is that why he won't help us? I didn't realize the fox was his pet. We must show greater sincerity." Li Chunfeng clasped his hands politely. "Fellow Taoists, I am Li Chunfeng. A pleasure to meet you." As the 3 watched Shin Chongqing's retreating figure, Xiaoyi poked her little head out of the basket, stuck out her tongue, and teased, "Naya, oops, sorry." A short while later, Shin Chongqing arrived at the marketplace. With Xiaoyi at his side, he set up his small stall displaying cultivation manuals. He slapped the table dramatically and struck a bold pose. "Open for business." The crowd rushed forward almost immediately, forming a long queue. Master Shin, read my fortune first. I have silver. Tell me mine." Last time, Master Shin made that old Taoist kneel on the spot. He must have real skills. Before he could even sell a single manual, a high-ranking official arrived with a group of armed guards. "Make way! Everyone out of the way!" The man leading them was none other than Magistrate Feng of Jingyong County. He pointed directly at Shin Chongqing and announced, "A report has come in, there's a swindler on these streets. Is it you?" Shin Chongqing raised a foot and planted it dramatically on the table. "Which lowlife dares report me? Trying to have me arrested?" Before he could finish, 2 guards pressed their staves to his throat. Suddenly, Constable Wu ran over, panting and wide-eyed. Exalted One! Exalted One! He pointed in a specific direction. It's not good. Something's happened at the Zisha residence. Magistrate Feng turned and saw a massive, swirling vortex of dark energy rising from Shin Chongqing's small courtyard. That's the Zisha residence in Yong Ward, isn't it? Someone gasped. Look! Demonic chi rising into the sky. How terrifying! How can there be demons in broad daylight? Another shouted. They say the demons of the Zisha residence are powerful. Yet Shin Chongqing just blinked and looked up at the perfectly clear sky. Are you serious? He asked. Magistrate Feng looked again, then turned to Constable Wu in confusion. Shin Chongqing narrowed his eyes. You with the whiskers. What exactly do you mean by this? Are you trying to start trouble with me for no reason? Back at Shin Chongqing's courtyard, the Black Eagle King was rummaging through every corner. Treasure, treasure. Where are you? He muttered, overturning baskets and furniture alike. Come home with me. Where are you hiding? He searched high and low, scattering items everywhere until he stopped and scratched his head, confused. Strange. I clearly saw golden light pouring from this courtyard. That was definitely the sign of a treasure awakening. So where is it? Meanwhile, in the bustling marketplace, a new crowd had gathered. Come one, come all, someone shouted. Taoist Master Shin is going to perform a demon exorcism, right here, right now. He'll purge the old ghost of the Zisha residence that's haunted Jingyong County for years. Hidden among the bushes at the roadside, Bai Long, Qing Long, and Li Chunfeng crouched low, watching with wide eyes. He's here. He's really here, someone whispered excitedly. This is the place. Let's see how Master Shin performs. The 3 observers whispered in unison, eyes shining with awe. Amazing! The immortal master has returned. At that moment, Shin Chongqing appeared, moving with a graceful, confident flair. He held a folding fan in one hand. Behind him came Constable Wu, bearing the boundless Heavenly Lord banner, and Magistrate Feng, carrying the demon-subduing immortal banner. Suddenly, Xiao Bai, the fox demon, darted through the bushes. With a casual flick, she smacked the 2 dragon princesses and the Taoist, sending them tumbling. After landing her blows, she returned to her human form, turned back, and glared at them. With a scowl, she snapped, You can't even protect your own territory, yet you still dream of learning secret arts from some expert? The one inside your home is the Black Eagle King, one of the 4 great demon kings serving under the Black Mountain Old Demon. We're nowhere near strong enough to face him. Hearing this, Sha frowned and snorted. Then just stay back and watch. Even if the Black Mountain Old Demon himself shows up, my master will burn him to ashes. At that moment, the Black Eagle King stood in the courtyard, vaguely catching the distant conversation. Black Mountain. Expert. Taoist Master. Demon slaying. His expression shifted. This is bad, he muttered. Before I left the mountain, the great Black Mountain Demon King warned me about a place in the mortal realm called the Chuntian Observatory, where terrifying experts dwell. Could they have already discovered me? As they finally arrived at the courtyard, Constable Wu turned around and said with determination, Master, this place is too dangerous. There are too many people outside. I'll stay out here to protect them. I'll leave the evil inside to you. Magistrate Feng raised a brow and asked, You're not scared, young man? If you can deal with the ghost at the Zisha residence, I'll believe you're not just another fraud. With that, he turned away with a sly grin. He thought to himself, if this kid fails, I win. Shaming him in public will restore order to Jingyong County and strike fear into wrongdoers. As expected of me, the Black Eagle King mused. I can now see through the hearts of men, so full of cunning and deceit. Inside the house, the Black Eagle King no longer paid any attention to the people outside. He had clearly heard them mention some expert investigating the place. I can't stay here. I'll come back for the treasure another time. With that, he activated a wall-piercing technique and lunged toward the wall, only to be blocked by some unseen force, crashing hard into it. His head spun as stars danced before his eyes. Just then, hearing the commotion, Shen Chongqing opened the door and stepped inside. What was that noise just now? He wondered aloud. A rat clinging to the ceiling? The Black Eagle King looked down and watched Shen Chongqing walk in, cradling a mirror and mumbling, so loud. Must be a fat rat. I wonder if Xiao Bai catches rats. Glancing down, the Black Eagle King saw Shen turning the mirror left and right, acting like a fool. A rat? Is he talking about me? Could he be the expert? He sensed my presence the moment he entered? Unbelievable! I'm a demon king, and he's talking about catching me like a pest. Outside, Constable Wu and Magistrate Fang's men stared at the closed door, holding their breath. Not a sound came from within. Wu clenched his fists, a smug grin on his face. Truly an expert, he whispered. The moment he stepped in, the evil aura vanished. Inside, Shen Chongqing stared at the objects on the table. That nosy fox demon exposed this house in front of the whole county. If this farce falls apart, I could end up shackled and locked in jail. His expression darkened as he imagined his future. He sighed, just as the useless systems interface popped up. Remaining lifespan, 29 hours, 23 minutes, and 33 seconds. Host will be executed upon timer expiration. Seeing this, Shen carefully studied the table. On it lay 2 secret manuals, a lighter, and an iPhone 15 Plus. If I get arrested, I'll die when the timer runs out, he muttered. I've got no choice, I'll have to use my wits. Then something struck him. Wait. A smartphone. I might be able to turn this mess into a fortune. Excited, he picked up the phone and swiped at the screen repeatedly. Good thing I brought my personal items when I transmigrated. I've got tons of movies saved on this phone. Just as he was about to play one, a strange sound suddenly echoed from inside the house. AAA Yami Katasai. Constable Wu and Magistrate Fang stood outside, frozen in disbelief. What's that noise? Magistrate Fang muttered. Is that a ghost? But the sound was so bizarre, so out of place, it left them stunned. Inside, Shen Chongqing chuckled awkwardly, swiping at the screen in a panic. My hand slipped. I picked the wrong file. Good thing no one's watching, Shen Chongqing muttered, or this would be truly humiliating. Above him, the Black Eagle King, still clinging to the ceiling, stared down wide-eyed. What kind of magical artifact is that? It automatically unleashes curses. But I've never heard a curse that screams Yami Kudasai or Aya. Below, Shen Chongqing raised his iPhone 15, striking a handsome pose for a selfie, accidentally capturing the Black Eagle King in the shot. Too bad there's no internet in ancient times. Without it, the camera's basically useless, he said, pressing the shutter button. Suddenly, the flash went off. Ah! What is that blinding light? Screeched the Black Eagle King. My eyes! Mother! My core is shattered! He frothed at the beak, body trembling violently. This mortal cultivator clearly sensed my presence, but pretended not to. He waited for me to relax, then struck me with terrifying arcane methods. Meanwhile, Shen Chongqing remained blissfully unaware, happily snapping selfies. Watching from above, the Black Eagle King seethed in silence. This man is truly sinister. What a venomous heart! Outside, Magistrate Fang, growing impatient, glared at the house. Taoist Shen, your delay is a sham. If you don't come out soon, my constables will break in and arrest you. Standing nearby, Constable Wu calmly closed his eyes and scoffed. Fool! How dare you doubt a genuine expert? Just then, Shen Chongqing stepped out of the house. Now, what's the rush, Magistrate? Didn't you claim the Zisha residence had been haunted by an evil spirit for years, impossible to deal with? Well, today, I, Shen Chongqing, have personally subdued the ghost. With a dramatic flourish, he held up his phone for everyone to see. On the screen was the terrifying image of a female ghost with long fangs. "Here's the evidence. See for yourselves." The crowd gasped in shock, falling silent. A purplish mist began swirling around the courtyard as a ghostly woman crawled out from the well, her long, red-tipped fingernails dragging along the ground. Constable Wu and the others froze in terror, sweat dripping from their faces like rain. This resentment. It's even more intense than the 9 Cycles demon. Seeing their fear, Shen Chongqing pointed confidently at his phone screen. "Don't be afraid, everyone. I've sealed this spirit inside my magical mirror. It can't hurt anyone now." He then rewound the video. "Watch this, I can move it forward, or rewind it at will." As he scrubbed back through the footage, an unexpected scene popped up, a Japanese woman writhing on a bed, face flushed, letting out soft moans. Completely unaware, Shen Chongqing proudly held up his phone to the crowd. "Well? Pretty impressive, right?" Constable Wu slapped his thighs in a panic, trying to cover the situation. The crowd erupted in awe and praise. "Amazing! Even such a vicious spirit is easily controlled by Taoist Shen. Truly a celestial master. His merit knows no bounds." Trembling, Magistrate Fong approached and peered at the screen. "Why is the magic mirror going dark?" "Damn it, the battery's dead," Shen muttered. Quickly, he tucked the phone into his robe and cleared his throat. Ahem. Ahem. Opening the celestial eye isn't something commoners can easily witness. What you've seen today is already a rare privilege. He straightened up with confidence. "However, the evil spirit's aura has tainted this object. I fear the house won't be easy to purify. Fortunately," he added, "I've been studying exorcism techniques. I've even inscribed talismans that ward off evil and protect households." The crowd, including Magistrate Fong, immediately rushed forward, holding out pouches of money. "Taoist Shin, please grant us your talismans. I've been waiting since sunrise, it's my turn." Even the magistrate can't skip the line. Just then, 3 young men appeared in the crowd, pushing their way forward. "Where are you going?" "I heard there's a master at the Zisha residence. I want a charm to protect my house." All around Jingyang County, people were swarming in like ants. "Could these talismans really be that powerful?" someone asked. "I saw it with my own eyes," said one man. "Taoist Master Shin subdued a ghost with one move, it can't be fake. Jingyang County is saved. I'm going too." 2 men pushed out from the throng, each clutching a talisman. One had a full head of hair, the other was bald. One cried with gratitude, the other beamed with joy. "Taoist Master Shen is so kind. His hand is swollen, but he still writes talismans for us. That's not swelling. That's his vital energy circulating. I saw it in a play once." As the excitement died down, the crowd slowly began to disperse. Unfortunately, Shen Chongqing's hand now looked more like a grotesque claw than a human limb. "Thank you all for your hard work today," he called out cheerfully. "Please, stay for a meal. I just need to tidy up inside first." He turned back toward the house. "After writing all day, my hand feels like a printing press," he muttered, awkwardly pushing the door open with his deformed hand. But the moment he stepped inside, he was met with the gleaming, starstruck gazes of his 4 devoted followers. His expression froze. Without a word, he slammed the door shut. Inside, Shen tossed his newly earned gold coins into the air, watching them fall with a wide grin of pure satisfaction. "Ha ha! I'm rich. Finally, I don't have to grovel to the system anymore. I'm a rich player now." Outside, Constable Wu and the 2 dragon princesses overheard his ecstatic proclamation. "Senior Immortal Master is treating us to a meal?" One of them beamed. "Does this mean he finally acknowledges us? This is wonderful." The other chimed in, but then a shadow of worry crossed her face. "Why do I feel like I'm about to be replaced in his heart?" Suddenly, a golden light bathed the entire courtyard. A mysterious voice echoed, "Resurrect." "My time." Everyone stared in awe. The demonic energy that once clung to the air had completely vanished. "Heavens!" gasped one of Shin's fans. "Did a true celestial master just descend upon us?" High on the ceiling, the Black Eagle King was blasted by the golden light. His feathers stood on end as he frothingly cursed his fate. First fist techniques, now golden light? What did I do to deserve this? He looked down and saw Shen Chongqing holding up a handful of gold coins, sighing deeply. "The money hasn't even warmed my pockets. And it's already gone." His system interface popped up. Remaining lifespan, 275 days, 18 hours, and 10 minutes. Shen clasped his hands together and prayed, "System, please give me something valuable for 6 taels." A system notification flashed. Handmade soap recipe: crush seashells into powder, add water and plant ash, mix into liquid and pour into molds, let sit for 30 days for saponification. Shin's eyes turned into coin symbols. A handmade soap recipe? This is a treasure. In this backward era, people bathe with bean pods. Soap will sell like hotcakes. I'll be rich. But when he looked at his empty storage chest, his smile faded. "Oh no. I only have 10 days left, and this takes at least 10 days to make. I need to find another way to make money." Just then, a loud thud interrupted his thoughts. The Black Eagle King fell from the ceiling, feathers flying in all directions. "Whoa! What the?" Shen blinked and cautiously approached the fallen figure. He grabbed the dazed Black Eagle King by the wing. "So it wasn't a rat after all. Just a giant pheasant," he mumbled. "What kind of wilderness is this where pheasants are the size of horses?" Without much thought, he slung the bird over his shoulder. "You poor little thing," he said. "Who knows how long you've been trapped up there? You must be starving. Don't worry, you're lucky you ran into me. I'm kind-hearted. I wouldn't even hurt a fly. Or a blade of grass." Peeking from behind the door, Magistrate Fang and the 2 dragon sisters, Bai Long and her sibling, watched in bewildered silence. Could the Taoist master be performing some sort of resurrection ritual? Fang whispered nervously. "We can't let that demon king come back to life," Bai Long murmured. "That would be catastrophic." But her sister disagreed. "No. The master's compassion knows no bounds. Even to demons. To him, all beings are equal. If he can revive a demon king, then curing my father's illness should be child's play." A short while later, Shin Chongqing's followers widened their eyes in shock. "Wait. He's going to roast it?" Indeed, Shen had skewered the unconscious Black Eagle King, and was now enthusiastically seasoning it over an open flame. But instead of the delicious aroma of grilled meat, a thick, noxious demonic aura wafted through the air. The onlookers murmured in alarm. "The flesh of a great demon is poisonous. And this is a demon king. How could he possibly eat it?" Completely unconcerned, Shen handed out skewers with a bright smile. "Sorry for the wait, everyone. Come on, try my cooking, it's delicious." His 4 followers froze, color draining from their faces. "And master," one stammered, "I just remembered something urgent. I really have to go." Another added, "My mother told me not to stay out late." Bai Long's sister whimpered, "Sis, I don't want to die." But Bai Long forced a brave smile. "Don't be afraid, little Qing. It's a gift from the master, we can't refuse." She added softly, "But if I die, you must ask the master to heal father." Taking a deep breath, Bai Long reached out. "Master," she said with conviction, "allow me to try it first." Just then, a white blur zipped past. In a flash, the roasted chicken vanished. Everyone turned. There sat the small fox demon, Xiao Bai, happily gnawing on an enormous chicken leg. "Xiao Bai!" Shin Chongqing shouted. "The guests haven't even had a bite yet. Spit that out." But the little fox ignored him, savoring the leg and quietly absorbing the thick demonic energy rising from it. The 2 dragon sisters watched in astonishment. The fox immortal. It's testing the meat for us. Bai Long's sister exclaimed excitedly. See? Even fox demons can be good. In just a few moments, all that remained was a clean bone. Then, the little fox demon suddenly wobbled to its feet, swaying like it was dizzy. Shen Chongqing blinked. Xiaobai, what's wrong? After a few more unsteady steps, the fox collapsed to the ground. It's poisoned. Bai Long's sister cried out, panicked. Shen leaned over and gently lifted the fox's tail, examining it with a puzzled look. It's still breathing. But what's with that face? It looks weirdly happy. Suddenly, the fox leapt up and broke into a wild, energetic jig, its tiny feet thumping against the ground, eyes gleaming with bliss. Ah, that feels amazing! It mumbled, beaming. I'm bursting with spiritual energy. As expected of demon king meat grilled by master. Bai Long stood frozen. How is it not dead? That was demon king meat. Even a celestial would be poisoned by that. Shen calmly carved off a few pieces of the roasted meat and handed them to Magistrate Fong and Constable Wu. Here, take some, he said. You've been helping me all day. Can't let you go home hungry. Eat it while it's hot. Magistrate Fong accepted the plate and glanced at Wu. Shall we try a bite? They watched as the little fox demon gnawed in absolute bliss. The master's skill is beyond mortal comprehension, Fong muttered. Even demon flesh becomes divine cuisine in his hands. The taste must rival the immortal peaches of the 9 heavens. Meanwhile, Bai Long and her sister were already stuffing their faces with tears in their eyes, overcome by the powerful flavor and energy. Elsewhere, Li Chunfang and Wu Fan held their noses, took a bite. And immediately, a surge of power coursed through their bodies. They both struck dramatic, almost theatrical poses. As so much spiritual energy, Li gasped. I can't control this feeling. It's too much. No, not again. I'm going to have another breakthrough. Wu Fan cried. Sister, your cultivation, it's about to break through again. Just then, 2 streams of radiant energy, one blue, one gold, erupted from Shen Chongqing's courtyard and shot into the sky. Sha! Sister, I've broken through too. This meat. Master's grilled meat. It's a delicacy from the immortal realm. The sisters embraced joyfully, overjoyed by their cultivation leap. Shen Chongqing strolled over, hands on his hips, smug and satisfied. Not bad. Not bad at all, he said proudly. With cooking skills like mine, these ancient folks don't stand a chance. If I opened a barbecue stall, even the emperor would come crawling for a bite. Nearby, Li Chunfang and Wu Fan were swept up in the energy, embracing and spinning in a tango. This roast chicken is overflowing with spiritual energy. I feel like I'm going to sprout wings. Chunfang shouted. Why yeah, Wu Fan agreed, trembling. My body. It's buzzing. I feel like I could explode. Shen Chongqing watched them, wide-eyed. Good heavens. These two are really something else. Suddenly, Bai Long was struck by a painful memory. Her father's dire condition back at the Dragon Palace came flooding into her mind. Tears welled in her eyes. How can I enjoy Master's blessings while my father lies dying? I'm such a failure of a daughter. Overcome with guilt, Bai Long burst into tears. Startled, Shen turned to her. Why the tears? I didn't even add chili peppers. The 2 dragon sisters suddenly knelt at Shen's feet. Master, they pleaded. Please, grant us medicine to save our father. Dongli and I are willing to serve you for life. Shen sighed. I already told you, I don't know medicine. Have you forgotten? He paused, then looked up as if an idea had struck him. Tell you what. I'm short-handed right now. You 2 stay and help me out. Once I make some money, I'll share it with you. With money, you can get whatever medicine you need to cure your father. Sound good? The sisters bowed deeply. We will follow Master's arrangements. As night descended on Jingyong County, far from the village, deep in the forest, a pair of glowing eyes pierced the darkness. Blood-soaked corpses lay scattered on the ground. From the shadows emerged a massive tiger with razor-sharp fangs and claws. It was Shan, the Golden Star Tiger King, one of the 4 great demon kings. He sniffed the air, pacing hungrily. That bald bird. I told him he had a head, but it's full of fluff. So slow. I'm starving. The night passed. At dawn, birds chirped and flew across the sky. From somewhere nearby, Shin Chongqing's voice rang out in a cheerful song, sunshine. Flowers blooming. Birds singing. Early, early, early. In the courtyard, the 2 dragon sisters meditated quietly as the strange singing echoed in their ears. Sister, listen. What is Master singing? One asked. Before she could reply, both Bai Long and Wu Fan suddenly burst into tears. The grand laws of destiny, one cried. We thank you, immortal Master, for your boundless grace. We must not waste this opportunity for enlightenment. We must live up to his divine expectations. Xiao Bai, the little fox demon, watched the scene unfold with a frown. They really know nothing about the ways of the world, he muttered under his breath. Inside his courtyard room, Shin Chongqing hummed a carefree tune, his eyes fixed on the glowing system interface in front of him. Finally, he chuckled. Ever since I activated this busted system, it's been like living with a knife to my throat every day. This is the first time I've been able to sleep in without worrying about my survival timer hitting 0. He glanced at the system screen, where an image of a wine jar flickered. Humph, seems like mid-grade liquor is the only thing that makes quick money around here. Good thing I've got modern culinary knowledge on my side. I'll set up a street grill, roast chicken, duck, whatever sells. Maybe even have Dongli and Shaoqing serve the customers. With beauties like them around, these ancient folks won't be able to resist. Lost in his plans, Shin's face flushed with excitement. A sly grin spread across his lips as he pushed the door open and stepped outside. Dongli spotted him immediately and called out, Immortal Master, what are your instructions for us today? Gah! Could you not shout like that? Nearly scared me half to death, Shin muttered, startled. These 2 girls really are determined to become my full-time servants, huh? He pulled out a thick wad of cash and handed it to Dongli. Since you're so eager, here's a task. Take this money and buy some wine, but don't waste time with the roadside taverns. Go to the proper wine merchant. And remember, buy cheap. Yes, immortal Master, she said, nodding earnestly. With that, the dragon princesses Dongli and Shaoqing took off. Be quick about it, Shin called after them. And while you're out, pick up some undamaged bamboo stalks. Should be free. Just grab as much as you can. Understood, they called back. We will not fail you. After they disappeared down the road, Wu Fan and Li Chunfang stepped forward and bowed. Now that the courtyard repairs are complete, Taoist Master, Wu Fan said respectfully, I should return to the city god temple. If you ever require anything from the city god, please don't hesitate to ask. All right, off you go, Shin replied casually. As Wu Fan departed, Shin's expression darkened. Still acting, huh? At this rate, actor might as well be his primary occupation. One nuisance dealt with. He turned to Li Chunfang, his tone now lighter. What about you? Heading off as well? Li Chunfang shook his head solemnly. My Taoist powers are meager, but my heart longs to walk the true path. Please, Senior, allow me to remain by your side and learn. Shin smirked. Very well, he agreed without hesitation. Follow me. Free labor, only a fool would turn that down. Soon after, Shin Chongqing, Li Chunfang, and the little fox demon strolled through a lively marketplace, packed with vendors shouting over one another. Knives sharpened here. Freshly steamed buns. Come look, young master, only the finest silks. Shin scanned the stalls, eyebrows twitching. I must be hallucinating. These prices are outrageous. He stopped in front of a wine shop, staring at the sign above the jars. Glutinous rice wine 1 tael 7 grey nectar, 5 tails immortal's delight, 10 tails tears welled up in Shin's eyes. What a miscalculation! Back in modern times, people could drink cheap liquor thanks to industrial advances and mass production. Distilled spirits weren't half bad either. But here, I don't have the capital for large-scale brewing. He rubbed his temples, clearly frustrated. Forget it. I'll start small, sell roasted duck, gather some funds, and scale up from there. While Shun was lost in thought, Li Chunfang suddenly clapped him on the shoulder. Senior, he said seriously, you've grasped the essence of creation. Why concern yourself with something as trivial as money? Trivial? Shun's expression froze. He jabbed a finger in the direction of a plump, well-dressed woman walking by. Tell me, what do you see? Li Chunfang blinked. A wealthy lady. To the average eye, yes, Shun said, lowering his voice. But to a cultivator? She radiates the aura of prosperity. And yet, no one sees what I see. The worldly possessions she carries. They are the very essence of the world. In his mind's eye, Shun saw himself standing atop a mountain of gold, fishing rod in hand. What are worldly possessions? And what is the essence of the world? Let's take gold, for example. Gold is the lingering light of the sun. The remnants of ancient stars that collided during the birth of the universe, before even heaven and earth had taken form. It was drawn into our world by the eternal void and has coexisted with the dragon veins of the 9 provinces for hundreds of thousands of years. And what do we do with it? He scoffed. We dig it up to make trinkets. Trinkets? You look at it and see wealth. But I see something timeless, something with the same origin as heaven and earth itself. How can you call that just a worldly possession? Li Chunfang's jaw dropped. I never thought of it that way. Without hesitation, he dropped to his knees and kowtowed. This foolish Taoist has been blind. Shallow in perception. Unable to transcend the mundane. Thank you, Senior, for enlightening me. Shin Chongqing thought smugly to himself, too easy. You're so confused, you don't even know which way is north. Soon enough, you'll be guarding my roast duck shop like a loyal watchdog. He chuckled to himself. Li Chun looked up, his expression sincere. My cultivation has been stagnant for years, most likely due to the distractions of the mortal world. With your guidance, Senior, I now stand at the edge of a breakthrough. Please, I beg of you, share more of your wisdom. Moved by his earnestness, Shin Chongqing nodded. Since you're this determined, I'll give you a bit more insight. Leaning in, he whispered, cultivation techniques alone won't get you far. Try meditating on this mantra I've devised. The worth of life lies in dual aspects, genuine value emerges through contribution. Realization of purpose shapes one's path, transcending fleeting pleasures and wealth. Ideals light up the sky, and perseverance etches purpose deep into the heart. This, Shin thought, is the core essence of historical materialism. Li Chunfeng's face took on a thoughtful look. The worth of life lies in dual aspects. Perseverance etched into the heart. He sat cross-legged in the dirt, lost in contemplation. Shin Chongqing quietly laughed to himself. Yes, just like that. Li Chunfeng seemed entranced. A few simple words from the master have cleared away the mental haze that's haunted me for 3 years. Tears welled in his eyes as he dropped to his knees and bowed deeply before Shin Chongqing. Thank you, honored one, for these teachings. I will engrave your words upon my heart and chant them for eternity. Such a gullible child, Shin thought with a smirk. And to think I used concepts from over 1,000 years in the future. Take your time to digest it all, he said, glancing at the dazed Li Chunfeng who was nearly drooling. Shin Chongqing grinned smugly. This fool is completely hooked. Time to push further and reel him in. With a serious tone, he asked, Taoist master, you've been cultivating for years. Tell me, there are countless arcane arts in this world that promise immortality. Then why do so many still seek to be emperors, craving worldly power rather than the Tao and eternal life. Li Chuanfeng's eyes widened. His Majesty naturally wishes for immortality, but achieving it is incredibly difficult. Even we cultivators, who defy natural law, can only extend our lives by a few decades. Reaching 100 years of age is rare. Immortality is no simple task. As he finished, Shen Chongqing's body lit up with a radiant glow. Tsk, immortality? That's supposed to be hard? From today's date, I've already lived over 1,000 years. We're in the Jinyuan era of the Tang dynasty. From the 8th century all the way to the 21st century before I transmigrated, that's 1,230 years. Li Chunfeng stood stunned, his face paling. You truly are an immortal descended to the mortal realm. Who else could live for over a millennium? Stepping forward with a hopeful gaze, he asked innocently, "May I ask, immortal master? If I keep cultivating, could I achieve immortality like you?" Hearing this, Shen Chongqing hid a smirk behind his fan. Hook, line, and sinker. Then he turned away, putting on an aloof air. I cannot promise everything. But if you cultivate under me for 2 or 3 years, immortality won't be out of reach. Li Chuanfeng's face lit up as though he had found a mountain of treasure. So immortal master is willing to take me as a disciple? Shen Chongqing turned back, his body surrounded by white light. Ordinarily, I don't take disciples so easily. I didn't accept you before because I was testing your commitment to the Tao. But now that I've seen your potential and sincerity, I'll reluctantly accept you as a registered disciple. Whether you rise or fall depends on your own resolve. Overwhelmed with joy, Li Chunfeng knelt before Shen Chongqing for all to see. Master, please accept my bow. Shen Chongqing turned aside, beads of sweat forming on his forehead as he put on a dumbfounded expression. All right. So many people are watching. You said earlier your master was Yuan Tiangang, so I won't bother teaching you Taoist technique. But I do know a few other things. Since you've called me master, I won't mistreat you. Now get up and help me carry something. Later that day, the new master and disciple returned from the market with chickens and ducks in tow. Master, asked Li Chunfeng, did you buy these ducks to roast and eat? Shen Chongqing opened the door, a sly grin on his lips. These are my money-making treasures. You'll see soon enough. Just then, the 2 wine jars Li Chunfeng was holding slipped and shattered on the floor. The scene changed to Shen Chongqing and his disciple using the ducks to test a roasting oven. Staring at the golden, crispy, aromatic ducks, both of them swallowed hard. Don't rush, Shen Chongqing said. They're almost ready. Who would have thought my culinary skills rival my cultivation? A few minutes later, the ducks were fully roasted, their mouth-watering aroma spreading through the air. Shen Chongqing carefully brushed honey over them, making the skin glisten enticingly. He sprinkled some fragrant spices, cracked open a few cans of beer, and got ready for a feast. As the sun dipped below the horizon and dusk settled in, Shen Chongqing stood at the doorway, shielding his eyes from the fading light. Where are Dong Li and Xiaoqing? It shouldn't take this long to buy wine. Just as he finished speaking, Magistrate Fong burst in with 2 guards, his voice filled with panic. Immortal Master Shen. Taoist Master Li. Please help us. Something terrible has happened in Shirley Village. Seeing the official's anxious state, Shen Chongqing stepped forward and steadied him. Magistrate Fong, calm yourself. What exactly happened? The magistrate stammered, There's a demon in Shirley Village. The entire Hong family, 3 people, were found slaughtered in their ancestral home. Shen Chongqing's face turned pale. His expression grew grim. A demon? Are you absolutely certain? Soon after, at the Hong family estate, the wails of mourning pierced the air. The whole family had been wiped out. Onlookers whispered in horror. How tragic. All 3 members of the Hong family gone. Such a cruel end. I heard this house has been haunted for years. Strange deaths have plagued this family for generations. Even the neighbors have had misfortunes. Could it really be a demon? Let's leave before we catch its attention. Taking in the blood-soaked scene, Shen Chongqing shuddered. His eyes narrowed as he silently examined the corpses. He and Li Chunfeng approached the bodies while whispers swirled around them. It must be a demon. I heard Shirley Village was built atop an ancient tomb. The Hong family were supposedly its guardians, living near such unclean forces. No wonder something like this happened. Magistrate Fong wiped sweat from his brow, his face tense with fear. Immortal Master Shin, to be honest, people in the Hong family have been dying for years. Even as officials, we couldn't figure out why. Our hands were tied. But I never imagined it would escalate like this. This seems beyond human. We should report it to the Imperial Heaven Bureau and request their expert. But the people are terrified. Everyone knows of your reputation for slaying demons. Please, Master, help the people of Jingyong County. Upon hearing this, Li Chunfeng stepped forward and bowed with confidence. Magistrate Fong, there's no need to worry. As a member of the Imperial Astronomical Observatory, it's my duty to step in. And with my master here, no demon dares show its face. Shin Chongqing's face darkened. Damn it, he cursed inwardly. I never agreed to any of this. Who told this loudmouth to speak up? This is a murder case. Why are they calling a fake immortal like me? I'm a writer, not a demon slayer. Suppressing his annoyance, Shin Chongqing turned and forced a bright smile. Magistrate Fong, a man-eating demon is indeed serious. But I have full faith in my disciple's demon-slaying skills. This will be an excellent test for him. After examining the scene further, the magistrate added, Oh, yes. I nearly forgot. In my panic earlier, I didn't mention, some villagers claim to see your 2 maidservants being dragged away by a demon. Before he could fully process that statement, Shin Chongqing quickly interrupted. There's no demon. It was a wild beast. Yes, just a wild beast. But as the words left his mouth, they finally sank in. His eyes widened. What? Who did you say was taken? At that moment, a fierce roar echoed through the village, startling the guards and villagers. Gather every hunter in the county now. The scene shifted to a chilling sight. On a mound of blood-stained white bones, 2 sisters sat trembling. Sister, I don't want to die, whimpered the younger one. Shaoqing, don't be scared, the elder sister said, trying to comfort her. Immortal Master will definitely come save us. Just then, a deep, sinister laugh rumbled through the shadows. Man Shan, a tiger demon, emerged from the darkness. Immortal Master? He scoffed. You pathetic excuse for a tiger spirit. I suggest you release us at once. I am the Dragon Princess, daughter of the East Sea Dragon King. Man Shan laughed maniacally. Ha ha. Dragon Princess? You think I care? My father is one of the 4 great demon kings, sworn to serve the mighty immortal Han. I am Man Shan, the Tiger King. Little dragon brats like you? You'd make excellent concubines for immortal Han. Fear overtook Shaoqing. I don't want to be a concubine, she cried, her cheeks streaked with tears. I don't want to. Meanwhile, at the forest's edge, Shin Chongqing's search party had begun tracking the demon. Magistrate Fong, one of the hunters, reported, We found multiple fresh tiger tracks. The demon can't be far. If we follow the trail, we should catch up soon. Standing at Shen Chongqing's side, Li Chunfeng could sense the growing threat. Immortal Master, he warned, this beast is fierce. It has already taken lives. We shouldn't let the hunters take the risk, Li Chunfeng said, concern written all over his face. But the hunters bristled at his words. Don't worry, Taoist Master, one of them replied confidently. We're seasoned hunters. We've faced wolves, tigers, and leopards. Why, just last year we took down a tiger together. Shin Chongqing sighed, rubbing his forehead. These tiger hunters are indeed experienced. Let them continue the search. We still don't know what's become of Dong Li and Xiaoqing. If anything happens to them, how will I ever explain it to their family? Before long, the group arrived at the mouth of a dark cave. We've found the tiger's den, one of the hunters shouted. Everyone, check for other exits before we go inside. A few moments later, a hunter reported back, Magistrate Fong, Immortal Master Shun, we've inspected the cave. There's only one way in or out.